12 years as a GM dealer, tech taught me the one thing they never tell GMC owners. Federal law lets you service it anywhere without voiding the warranty. There are 14 more. I'm Dale. Let me explain how the dealer service department actually thinks, because once you understand it, all 15 of these make sense. A dealer service department is a profit center. Every truck that rolls onto the service drive is a repair order, and every repair order has a target dollar amount. The service advisors are paid on what they sell. The techs are paid on flat rate hours. Nobody in that building is paid to tell you the cheapest, simplest way to keep your GMC running. They're paid to maximize what comes out of your wallet on each visit. I'm not saying every dealer is crooked. I'm saying the system is built to keep you in the dark about your own options. When I worked the service drive, we were trained on exactly what to mention and exactly what to leave out. Today I'm giving you the part we left out, all 15 things. Let's go. Number 1, you can service your GMC anywhere you want without voiding the warranty. This is federal law, the Magnuson-Moss Act. Here's the exact truth, because the precise wording matters. The dealer cannot void your warranty simply because you used an independent shop or installed an aftermarket part. The only way they can deny a warranty claim is if they prove that the specific outside part or service directly caused the failure you're claiming. The burden of proof is on them, not you. What the dealer does is let you believe you're obligated to bring the truck back to them for every oil change and every service to keep the warranty valid. That's not true. Keep your receipts, use quality parts, and you can service the truck in your driveway or at any independent shop. Your warranty stays fully intact. I've had customers come into my shop nervous to let me touch their truck because a service advisor scared them about losing coverage. Every one of them kept their full warranty. The law is on your side, not the dealer's. Verdict: keep every maintenance receipt, and never let a service advisor tell you the warranty requires dealer service. It doesn't. Number 2, recall work is 100% free. At any GMC dealer, no matter where you bought the truck, a safety recall is a manufacturer obligation. You pay nothing. Not for parts, not for labor, not for diagnosis, and you don't have to go back to the selling dealer. Any GMC franchise dealer must perform the recall at no charge. Here's the part they don't push. Don't wait for the letter in the mail. Go to nhtsa.gov, type in your VIN, and see every open recall on your truck right now. The L8762 recall alone covers nearly 600,000 trucks. Plenty of owners are driving around with open recalls they never got a letter for. Verdict: check your VIN on nhtsa.gov today. Schedule any open recall immediately. It costs you nothing. Number 3, goodwill repairs exist, and the dealer will never offer one unless you ask. When a known defect fails just outside your warranty window, GM sometimes covers part or all of the repair as a policy adjustment or goodwill. It's especially common on documented problem areas, the kind of failures GM already knows about internally. But here's how it works. The dealer does not volunteer this. You have to ask. You call GM customer care, you reference the known issue, you politely make your case, and you ask for goodwill consideration. I've watched owners get thousands of dollars in repairs covered this way. Owners who only got it because they knew to ask. I watched one owner get a water pump failure covered at 42,000 miles just past his powertrain window, with a single phone call referencing the known issue. The owner who came in behind him paid $1,100 for the identical repair because nobody told him the call was an option. If a known defect fails just past warranty, call GM customer care and request goodwill before you pay a dime. Number 4, the oil life monitor on your dash lets the oil go too long. The algorithm calculates oil life based on engine conditions, and under ideal use it'll tell you 7,500 to 10,000 miles is fine. But the monitor doesn't fully account for the real world. Towing, idling in traffic, short trips that never warm the oil up, hot climates. Under those conditions, the oil breaks down well before the monitor says so. The dealer likes the long interval because it sounds low maintenance when they sell you the truck. I tell every customer in my shop the same thing. Change it at 5,000 miles, full synthetic, and stop trusting the dash to protect your engine. Verdict: 5,000-mile oil changes, regardless of what the monitor says. Number 5, there is no such thing as lifetime transmission fluid. This was a marketing decision, not an engineering one. Transmission fluid shears, oxidizes, and breaks down under heat just like engine oil. A transmission filled at the factory and never serviced will burn its clutch packs long before the truck is done. The dealer told you sealed for life because it sounded like a feature. What it actually does is let the fluid degrade until the transmission needs a rebuild that costs thousands. Drain and fill at 30 to 50,000 miles depending on how hard you use the truck. I've dropped transmission pans on trucks the owner swore had sealed for life fluid, and what came out at 90,000 miles was dark brown and smelled burnt. That's a transmission slowly cooking itself, while the owner was told there was nothing to service. Verdict: service your transmission fluid on a real interval. The lifetime label is fiction. Number 6. If your engine has active fuel management or dynamic fuel management, you're carrying a known failure mode the dealer won't mention. These systems deactivate cylinders under light load to save fuel. The problem is the lifters on the deactivated cylinders. Over time they collapse, the cam lobe score, and the engine fails. A repair that runs into the thousands. This affects the Gen 4 LMG 53, the L9462, and the entire Gen 5 family. There's a fix. A range technology disabler, around $265, plugs into the OBD port and stops the cylinder deactivation. One caveat: it only helps on engines that actually have AFM or DFM. If you've got a pre-AFM Gen 3 engine, you don't need it. This is the single most preventable major failure on a modern GMC. I've torn down engines at 160,000 miles where one collapsed lifter scored a cam lobe and turned into a 4-figure repair on a truck whose owner was never told the cylinder deactivation was the cause. Verdict: if you have an AFM or DFM engine, a disabler is cheap insurance against a 4-figure failure. Number 7. Your specific truck has known problems documented in technical service bulletins, and nobody's going to read them to you. A TSB is GM's internal documentation of a recurring problem and the official fix. They're not recalls, so the dealer isn't required to perform them for free, but they tell you exactly what's likely to go wrong on your engine and what the correct repair is. The L8762 rod and crankshaft recall on model years 2021 through 2024 started as documented failures before it became a federal recall. Verdict: look up the TSBs for your VIN and your engine. Walk into the service drive knowing more than the advisor expects you to. We're halfway through, and the next 8 are the ones that cost owners the most money. Before I give them to you, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Every week I pull back the curtain on something the dealer doesn't want you knowing. Number 8. The red items on your multi-point inspection are often upsell bait, not safety emergencies. When your truck is in for service, the tech does a multi-point inspection and marks things green, yellow, or red. The service advisor uses the red marks to sell you work, but not everything marked red is an actual safety emergency. A cabin air filter, a slightly dirty fluid, a wiper blade. These get flagged red to create urgency. When I worked the drive, the red flags were a sales tool as much as a safety tool. The play is simple. Never approve a red item you haven't seen with your own eyes. I watched advisors flag a cabin air filter as a red item more times than I can count. A cabin filter has nothing to do with safety. It filters the air coming through your dash vents. Marking it red is theater designed to make you say yes on the spot. Verdict: when they show you a red item, say, "Bring me the part and show me." Half the time the urgency evaporates. Number 9. You're paying 2 to 3 times retail on dealer parts. Filters, brake pads, wiper blades, batteries. The dealer marks up OEM and OEM equivalent parts substantially over what you'd pay at a parts store or online. The exact same quality part, sometimes the exact same brand in a different box, costs a fraction elsewhere. Here's a real number. A cabin air filter that runs $12 to $15 online gets billed at $45 to $60 installed at the dealer. A set of wiper blades that's $25 at any parts store shows up at $70 on the repair order. Multiply that across every wear item over the life of the truck and it's real money for nothing but a markup. Verdict: for routine wear parts, buy them yourself or have an independent shop source them. You're paying for the dealer's building, not better parts. Number 10. The only the dealer has the scanner line is outdated. For years the dealer had a monopoly on diagnostic tools. That's over. Independent shops today run professional scan tools that read the same codes, access the same systems, and diagnose the same problems. You do not need the dealer to find out what's wrong with your truck. The good independent shops run the same professional scan tools the dealer uses, the bi-directional ones that don't just read codes but actually command components to test them. The capability gap the dealer had 10 years ago is gone. What you pay extra for at the dealer is the logo on the building. Verdict: if an advisor implies only they can diagnose your GMC, that's a sales line, not a fact. Number 11. The extended warranty is high margin and fully negotiable. The price they quote you on a GMC extended service contract is never the real price. The margin built into these contracts is enormous, which means there's huge room to negotiate. The first number is an opening offer, nothing more. And know this: you can buy a genuine GM extended service contract from any GM dealer in the country, not just the one selling you the truck. They compete on these. A few phone calls can cut the price by hundreds, sometimes over $1,000, on the exact same coverage with the exact same GM backing. Verdict: if you want an extended warranty, negotiate hard or shop it from multiple GM dealers. Never pay the first quote. Number 12. The fuel induction service and engine flush they push at every visit is usually unnecessary on a healthy, maintained engine. These services get recommended on a mileage schedule regardless of whether your engine needs them. On a well-maintained engine with no actual symptoms, they're a margin add-on, not a mechanical necessity. A fuel induction service sprays cleaner through the intake to remove carbon. On a direct injection engine with actual carbon buildup, there's a real place for it. On a healthy engine, getting the service recommended only because it crossed a number on a chart, it's a margin add-on. The difference is whether there's a diagnosed symptom or just a line on a maintenance menu. Verdict: decline induction and flush upsells unless there's a real diagnosed reason for them. Number 13. The severe service schedule applies to you, and they quoted you the easy one. GM publishes 2 maintenance schedules, normal and severe. Severe service means shorter intervals, and it applies if you tow, drive short trips, sit in traffic, or live in extreme heat or cold. That's most truck owners. But the dealer often quotes the normal schedule because it sounds lower maintenance at the point of sale. Read the actual definition. If you use your GMC like a truck or you live anywhere with real seasons, you're a severe service driver, and the easy schedule they quoted leaves your truck under-maintained. Verdict: assume you're a severe service driver and service your truck on the shorter intervals. Most GMC owners qualify. Number 14. Your GMC factory warranty transfers to the next owner, and that raises your resale value. The remaining powertrain and bumper-to-bumper coverage stays with the truck when you sell it. That's a real selling point that adds money to a private sale or a trade. The dealer taking your trade-in won't mention it, because the less value you think your truck has, the better their trade number looks. Verify exactly what's left before you sell. The bumper-to-bumper coverage runs 3 years or 36,000 miles, and the powertrain coverage runs 5 years or 60,000. Whatever remains transfers automatically to the buyer at no cost. A truck with 2 years of powertrain coverage still on it is worth more than identical one out of warranty, and a sharp private buyer knows it. Verdict: when you sell, advertise the remaining factory warranty. It's worth real money. Number 15. The "we'll buy your truck back" offer is a lowball every time. The first trade-in number is always below your truck's real value. It's an opening offer designed to leave room for them to make money on the resale. They're counting on you not knowing what your truck is actually worth. Pull the private party value from a couple of independent valuation sites and check what comparable GMC trucks are actually listed for in your area. That's your real number. When the dealer's trade offer lands thousands below it, and it will, you'll know exactly how hard to push, or whether you're better off selling it yourself and keeping the difference. Verdict: before you ever discuss a trade, look up your truck's real private party value independently. Walk in knowing the number, and don't accept the first offer. Here's the rule that ties all 15 together. The dealer service department runs on profit per repair order. Every recommendation, every red flag, every "you really should do this today" is filtered through what it adds to your bill. That doesn't make them villains. Recall work and warranty work belong at the dealer, and it's free. But for everything else, your defense is one simple question: can you show me the part or show me the TSB? The moment you ask to see the evidence, the upsells that don't hold up disappear. 12 years on the inside taught me all 15 of these, and now you know them too. Remember the one rule: the dealer works on profit per repair order, so always ask to see the part or the TSB before you approve anything. Hit subscribe. Next week I'm breaking down the 3 repairs you should never let a dealer touch. See you then.